Dear friends, welcome to Saturn in House 9, Part 2. Today in this video, I'll talk about the various aspects that Saturn will cast on the other houses of the chart while sitting in the 9th house. Do subscribe to my channel, and if you want consultation, my number is there in the video description. So friends, Saturn is in the 9th house. In the part 1 of the video of Saturn in house 9, I told you that Saturn is the significator of, profession, of karma, primarily, also of longevity, of death, of discipline, hard work, justice, and so on. And also of darkness and secrecy and even negativity and pessimism. Now, Saturn is sitting in the 9th house. 9th house, we know, primarily is the house of fortune, faith, of God, of the Father, and of duty. So the first aspect of Saturn will fall on the 9th house itself according to Nadi astrology. Yes, friends. So the first aspect of Saturn, because Saturn is sitting in the 9th house, as you can see here. So the first aspect will fall on the 9th house, wherever Saturn is sitting. And what results you will get when the first complete aspect falls on the 9th house, and that aspect is the strongest aspect of Saturn. So what results you will get if the first aspect is on the 9th house, that I have already discussed in the part 1 of the video. Please go to Saturn in house 9, part 1. Today I'll talk about the other aspects that Saturn will cast on the other houses of your chart, and hence on the other areas of your life. So friends, Saturn's second aspect will fall on the 10th house. The 10th house of profession. Second aspect. Now, if Saturn is in good dignity in the 9th house, then definitely we can say that the person will be very disciplined, will be very organized, in his work, and he will definitely be a successful professional. Saturn will give you success, will reward you with success in due course of time, say after the age of 36. Because the native again will be disciplined, and he will do his work in a very systematic and organized manner. He'll be punctual. So he will rise in his profession. Also we can say that the native, because Saturn is in the 9th house, so the native's profession may be something which is related to the 9th house. He may be a priest, he may be an advisor, he may be a guru, he may be a teacher, a professor. Yes, he may be a spiritual leader, a guide. He may even be a judge. Saturn in the 9th house is also the house of law. Yes, or even a lawyer. So his profession may be connected to the 9th house. That also we can say. He may be into counseling. Now friends, if Saturn is not in good dignity and Saturn's second aspect is falling on the 10th house, then what will happen? Then the person will not be systematic, in his profession. He will not be, disciplined. Yes, so as a result of that, there will be a lot of hurdles, there will be a lot of obstacles in the path of his profession. Like, he will not be able to do well in his profession because of various, problems. Why? Because Saturn is not in good dignity. The person is not hardworking, is not diligent, is not disciplined. Yes, or maybe Saturn is under some malefic influence. And so the native will have to, encounter a lot of problems in his profession. Yes, so there will be delay. in all matters pertaining to his profession. Yes? So, all these things, because Saturn will now create obstacles. So, there will be delay in attaining social status and recognition. So, there will be a delay in all that. But even if Saturn is not in good dignity, if the native keeps working hard and keeps making efforts, then in due course of time Saturn will reward the native. There will be delay, but he will definitely be successful in the latter part of his life. Now friends, let us go to Saturn's, third aspect. The third aspect is very important from the point of view of profession in Nadi astrology. The third aspect is falling on the 11th house. Yes? So we can say that, from the 11th house is also the house of gains. So now, because Saturn is aspecting, so there may be some delay in attaining those gains from his profession especially. Yes, Saturn will cause some delay. But if the native is hardworking, then Saturn will cause delay, but Saturn will never deny those gains which he deserves to attain. Saturn does not deny, Saturn only delays, because Saturn wants to test your patience, your level of perseverance and diligence. So Saturn's third aspect will fall on the 11th house. So if Saturn is well placed, and if the native is hardworking and diligent and disciplined and patient, then definitely he will, be able to attain all kinds of gains in life pertaining to his professional life, personal life. There will be a rise in his income, there will be a rise in his prosperity. So, all good things will happen, especially after the age of 36. 11th house is also the house of our desires, our wishes. So, all his desires and wishes will also be granted in due course of time. Say after the age of 36, all his desires, all his wishes will be granted and fulfilled. But yes, Saturn will cause some delay. But if the native is hardworking, if he is diligent, if he is patient, then definitely all his wishes and desires, all his hopes, all his dreams will come true. And also relationship with the elder siblings will improve over time. Relationship with friends and with people in the social network will also improve over time. Say after the age of 36. But if Saturn is not in good dignity in the 9th house, then the native may not be able to attain those gains, which he could have attained otherwise. He may not be able to, see any rise in his income and all that. If Saturn is not in good dignity, if the native is not hardworking, if he is not disciplined, all his, desires and wishes may not be granted then. That also we can say. Then let us go to Saturn's next aspect, that is Saturn's fifth aspect. Fifth aspect is a trinal aspect. It will fall on the first house. Yes, the first house of your personality. The trinal aspect is auspicious in Nadi astrology. So it will, make the person very disciplined and hardworking, especially if Saturn is well placed. He will be very hardworking, disciplined. Initially in life, the native may be a little confused, or he may be, at times he may be, in a dilemma as to what he should do in life. But as he, matures, with age, and as he, realizes, or as he comes to realize his purpose in life, then the native will definitely make sincere efforts along that direction, and he will definitely, work in a very systematic and organized way. He'll be very patient, and he will be, he will work with a lot of perseverance, and he will gradually move towards his goal in life. So definitely that will happen, because Saturn's trinal aspect is on the house of your personality. Eventually, say after the age of 30 onwards, the native becomes very disciplined, even if he was not disciplined initially in life. But if Saturn is, exalted in the 9th house, or if it is in friendly signs, or if it is in its own signs, that is either in Capricorn or Aquarius, then it is also seen that the native is hardworking and disciplined even from his childhood onwards. Even early on in life also, he is very hardworking, he is very disciplined, he is very punctual, he is very organized and goal oriented. He always thinks about long term goals. Yes? So friends, such a native also, trinal aspect is falling, Saturn's aspect is falling on the house of personality. So the native also will be very dutiful. He'll be very responsible, very dutiful. Yes? As an individual, that also we can say. And so he will be a successful professional. He'll be successful in whatever profession he is. He will definitely gain success in his professional life. That also we can say. Now, and he will be very just. He'll always believe in justice, because Saturn is the planet of justice. So he will never tolerate injustice, and he will also stand up for the masses, for the unprivileged and weaker sections of the society. He will always have a sense of compassion, and he will always feel that he has a sense of, that he has a moral responsibility towards the downtrodden, towards the old and weak and sick. He will always, have a soft corner for, for the working class, for the laborer class. Yes, he will have a lot of compassion for that particular class of people, which is also represented by Saturn. So these things we can say. Now, if Saturn is not in good dignity in the 9th house, and then the aspect is falling, we can see that the trinal aspect, 5th aspect is falling on the 1st house, then the native may be pessimistic. He may be very secretive. He may always like to live in isolation and do all kinds of things, which are even, you can say, things that are not acceptable in society. He may be very deceptive. Yes? He may hide things from people, and he may be also full of negative thoughts. Yes? He may also be lazy. He will not be disciplined at all. He will not be hardworking. He will only believe in complaining and criticizing others. All these things. He'll be very deceptive. All these things will happen if Saturn is not in good dignity and its aspect is falling on the house of personality. Now friends, let us go to, Saturn's 7th aspect. 7th aspect will fall on the 3rd house. 3rd house is the house of your efforts. Like the 11th house, the 3rd house is also an Upachaya house. Upachaya house means a house the results of which grow with time. And Saturn is also a planet of time. So Saturn wants you to, keep working hard. Saturn wants you to, put in efforts consistently over time. Then only Saturn rewards you. Yes? So that is why Saturn's aspect on the 3rd house will definitely be good in a way. So if the native is making efforts consistently, and now Saturn is aspecting, if Saturn is in good dignity, then the native will make efforts in a very disciplined way, in a very organized way. The native will know, where he should put his efforts. He will not be directionless. He will have a sense of purpose. He will have a sense of direction. Yes, he will be far-sighted. He will have long-term goals in mind. And he will consistently work towards attaining that particular goal or goals, whatever. Yes, he may have some professional goal. He may have some personal goal. So he will move towards those goals. And he will make consistent efforts along that direction. If Saturn is in good dignity, the native also, will have great analytical skills. Saturn provides the native with analytical skills. So if, maybe early on in life, if he was a little hesitant to, communicate his thoughts and ideas, over time, Saturn will, bless the person with that depth of knowledge and intellect, and then he will become also a very successful communicator later on. Say after the age of 30, he'll become very confident even about his communication skills. His relationship with his younger siblings also will improve over time. And he may also take the responsibility of, looking after his younger siblings. If Saturn is in good dignity, then the younger siblings also may be very disciplined. They may be very hardworking and organized. That also we can say. Third house is the house of initiation, beginning something new, some new project, new venture. Saturn causes delay, no doubt, but Saturn doesn't deny the event. So if the native is making efforts consistently along a certain direction, then the native will definitely be able to begin his new project or new venture in due course of time. Because Saturn is seated in good dignity in the 9th house, and its 7th aspect is directly falling on the 3rd house of efforts, of hard work, of willpower, of inner desires. Of our inner desires, 3rd house. It is also the house of the subconscious, our subconscious desires also the house of our skills and hobbies. So if Saturn is in good dignity, the native will definitely be able to develop his skill over time. Yes, and he will definitely be able to start his new project or venture, especially say after the age of 35. But again, if Saturn is not in good dignity, then just the reverse might happen. The native will not, be able to understand how he should, begin his venture or project. He will be very confused. He will be very skeptical. He will doubt everything. He will doubt all people. He will doubt all the possibilities. He will doubt all prospects. So then, his doubt, his skepticism, his pessimism, all that negativity will, now become an obstacle for him. So they will now stand as obstacles, and so it will be difficult for him to initiate what he also wanted to initiate. Definitely in his heart, in his heart of hearts, or you can say in his, it was his, desire to, begin some new project. But then he is now gripped by so much of doubt that he will not, and also not just doubt, even fear, unknown fear at times. And so it will be difficult for him to begin that new venture. That also we can say, if Saturn is not in good dignity. So friends, it is always very important for the native to work hard, to make efforts, and also to realize your goal in life. Because Saturn is very practical, is very realistic, and Saturn is very goal oriented and very far sighted. So it is very important to have a goal, have a purpose in life. Yes, only then these Upachaya houses, the 11th house, the 3rd house, the 6th house, all these Upachaya houses, even the 10th house is an Upachaya house, they will give you good results over time, provided you have a goal in life. That is very important. So friends, so if Saturn is not in good dignity and its aspect is falling on the 3rd house, then there may be a problematic relationship even with the younger siblings. The native will not be confident about his communication skills. He will hesitate, to communicate his thoughts in public, because Saturn is also the planet of obstruction. So all these things we can say, friends. Some delay in short distance travels will be there. So all these things we can say. Now friends, let us go to Saturn's 9th aspect. 9th aspect is also a trinal aspect. It will fall on the 5th house. The 5th house of child or children. Some delay in childbirth might be there. If Saturn is not in good dignity, then there might be a problematic relationship with the child, especially the first child. So, or maybe the child has to, will have to go away from the parents, will have to stay away from the parents because of his, job or profession, or because of education. He will have to, stay away from his parent or from the native. That also we can say. If Saturn is in good dignity, then it is also seen that the child also will be very disciplined. The child 5th house is the house of the child. The child will be disciplined, very hardworking, very diligent, very organized. If Saturn's, and it's a trinal aspect. If Saturn is in good dignity, definitely the child also will be very dutiful. That also we can say. Now, if Saturn is not in good dignity and its aspect is falling on the 5th house, then there will be a lot of obstacles in attaining education, especially high school education and college education. Some delay in education may be there, or obstacles may be there. If Saturn is in good dignity, then the native will be very responsible, will be very sincere in studies, will be very regular in his studies. He'll be a very diligent student also. So, if Saturn is in good dignity, that we can say that. So that the native has been a very, sincere and diligent student. We can say that. Now, 5th house is also the house of creativity. It is also the house of artistic talent. So, if Saturn is in good dignity, then the native will definitely be able to highlight his artistic talent maybe a little later in life, say after the age of 30. So, he will definitely get the opportunity to showcase his artistic skill or talent. Yes. If Saturn is not in good dignity, then again Saturn is the planet of restriction and limitation. So, the native may not be able to, highlight his talent. That also we can say. Now, 5th house is also a Dharm Trikon house. Just like the 9th house, it is also a Dharm Trikon. It is also the house of faith and prosperity in a way. So, if Saturn is in good dignity, the native will also attain prosperity in life over time, say after the age of 35. And he will also have faith. He will have faith in his duty. He will have faith in, he will believe that his duty, his work, that is his religion. A person with a good Saturn always believes that work is worship. Yes, my work is my worship, my work is my religion, and my work is my duty. So, that sort of faith the native will have. Now friends, let us go to Saturn's next aspect, that is Saturn's 10th aspect, will fall on the 6th house. 6th house is the house of your daily routine. If Saturn is in good dignity, the native will be very disciplined, very organized and very systematic. He will follow a proper daily routine. And so as a result of that, he will have good health. He will be in sound health. Yes? 6th house is also the house of enemies. So Saturn will, enable him to win over his enemies. Saturn will now restrict all the negative things associated with the 6th house. Saturn will restrict enemies, diseases, loans, because 6th house is also a kind of malefic house. It is an upachaya house which also grows with time, but also malefic house in a way. And all the things, negative things associated with the 6th house, they will be delayed and limited and restricted by Saturn, if Saturn is in good dignity in the 9th house. So its aspect on the 6th house will be considered to be good. So all these things will be delayed by Saturn and will be restricted by Saturn. Diseases will be restricted, enemies will be restricted. Yes? But if Saturn is not in good dignity in the 9th house and its aspect is falling on the 6th house, then the native may not follow a proper daily routine. He may not be disciplined then. Then what will happen? His health will suffer. He will not have good health. And then his enemies may get the upper hand. Yes, his enemies may get the upper hand. And that is why Saturn is in the 9th house. Saturn is also the planet of isolation. And 9th house is also the house of long distance travel. So he may have to isolate himself from his enemies. And because of that, he may have to undertake long distance travel. That also may happen. If Saturn is not in good dignity, its aspect is on the 6th house, then this also may happen. In order to escape from his enemies, he may have to undertake long distance travel in order to isolate himself from them. That also can be said. So friends, all these things we can say. And also he may have taken some loan, and now that loan, he will find it difficult to repay that loan. That loan will go on and on for years and years. It will become a very long-term loan. He may even be a defaulter. He may have not paid the installments in time, and so the loan has stretched over a very long period of time. That also may happen. And if Saturn is not in good dignity, it is also seen that the native doesn't pay his loan, he doesn't repay his loan properly. He also has a tendency to escape from the repayment of the loan that he had taken. It is also seen. That means if Saturn is not in good dignity in the 9th house, the native will not be dutiful. He will run away from all his duties, because 9th house is the house of duty after all. He will run away from all his duties and responsibilities. His duty towards his father, his duty towards the society, everything. And in all respects, he will run away from his duty. He'll be an escapist. And then Saturn will never be able to give him good results. 9th house is the house of fortune. So all kinds of obstacles now will be created in the path of attaining good fortune. He himself is actually creating because of his nature. That is why in Nadi astrology we believe that, friends, no matter how Saturn is placed in the 9th house, we have to, try our level best. Never feel sad about the placement of Saturn. You can change, even Saturn's influence on your life. You can make Saturn a benefit for you. Saturn will improve. Saturn's results will improve for you if you change your actions, if you improve your karmas, if you adopt good habits, if you have a proper daily routine, if you are disciplined, if you are hardworking, diligent, if you are goal oriented, if you are patient. You have to be very patient, very disciplined and hardworking. Then definitely Saturn will give you good results. So in Nadi astrology we believe in the significance of actions, in the significance of free will. Free will is also very important. So we have to use our free will, and we have to be engaged in proper actions, in good karmas, so that planets also are compelled to give us good results. So friends, that was Saturn's 10th aspect on the 6th house. Yes, so we need to improve our actions. Next, let us go to Saturn's 11th aspect. We are coming to an end soon. 11th aspect is 30 to 35% effective. It will fall on the 7th house. 7th house is the house of your marriage. If Saturn is not in good dignity, There may be some problems in the marriage, definitely. And Saturn is anyway also the planet of impotency. So some problem may be there in the marriage, because it is like casting its 11th aspect. Yes, but then it is just 30 to 35% effective. So we can say that definitely, if Saturn is good dignity, is in good dignity, then the native spouse will be very responsible and will be very dutiful. So that so as a result of that, the marriage will definitely be successful in the long run. But after all, Saturn's 11th aspect is on the house of marriage. So definitely we can say that yes, some problematic relationship with the spouse might be there. Some dissatisfaction might be there. Yes, that is why Saturn in the 9th house. What happens when Saturn is also in the 9th house? The person also eventually, it is seen, if Saturn is in good dignity, moves towards spirituality later on in life. Say after 36, after 40, he has a tendency to gain spiritual knowledge and he moves towards the path of spirituality. That is also seen. Or he engages himself in social service. So some detachment may be there with the spouse, may be there, because Saturn is also the planet of detachment and non-attachment and also separation also. So it may be there. So that doesn't mean the native will leave his spouse. No, the native will stay with his spouse, but he may feel detached, and he may feel that he is more attached maybe to the Creator, to God. Yes, so it may happen after a certain age in life. That also we can say. But if Saturn is in good dignity, the marriage will definitely last. It will be successful in the long run. If Saturn is not in good dignity, then there may be problems in the marriage. Yes. If Saturn is in good dignity in the 9th house, 11th aspect on the 7th house, will enable the native to become successful in his independent business or partnership business. If Saturn is in good dignity, then over time, if he keeps on making efforts, then he will become successful in his partnership business or independent business. He will, be able to do his business properly and he will gain success. Because Saturn is also primarily the significator of profession. Some obstacles he will overcome, but he may have to encounter. But then in the long run, if Saturn is in good dignity, he will definitely do well. But if Saturn is not in good dignity in the 9th house, then again there will be problems. Shortage of funds may be there, which will which will make it difficult for him to run his business, because Saturn is also the planet of scarcity. So some shortage of money, shortage of funds, shortage of capital, which will make it difficult for him to run the business. That also we can say. Now friends, the last aspect, Saturn's last aspect, its 12th aspect, will fall on the 8th house. The 8th house is also the house which represents life after marriage. It also represents the sex life of the native. Saturn is a planet of impotency. Its 12th aspect is just 20 to 25% effective. So somehow, it might impact the native's life after marriage in a negative way if Saturn is not in good dignity. That also we can say. And also because Saturn's 12th aspect is there, so some delay in getting some family inheritance, some inheritance of property. Saturn will not deny that. Definitely you will inherit, but some delay will be there. Saturn will cause some delay in gaining that family inheritance. Some delay will be there in building your joint assets with your spouse after marriage. Some delay the native will experience. But again, all the negative things, 8th house is also a malefic house, all the negative things associated with the 8th house Saturn will now delay them. Saturn can also delay the death of the native because its aspect is falling, 12th aspect. So it will definitely also, if the native follows a proper daily routine and if he has a good health, then Saturn will also automatically, you can see that Saturn's 12th aspect is falling on the house of longevity. So Saturn will delay the death, and so the native may have a long life. Also we can say that. Saturn will delay and restrict all the losses that are seen from the 8th house. The sorrow, the pain, the suffering, the diseases, whatever is seen from the 8th house, all negative things, Saturn will restrict them also. Because Saturn is also considered to be a malefic, natural malefic planet. It is aspecting now a malefic house. So all negative things will also be restricted by Saturn. So that is again will be something positive for the native. That also we can say. The native may secretly have some desire to study the occult sciences. He may be interested in studying the occult sciences. That also. Or there may be some delay. 12th aspect is falling. Saturn causes delay. So he may want to study occult sciences, but then some delay will be there. Yes, in that matter. That also we can say. So friends, Saturn is sitting in the 9th house, but from there Saturn is aspecting so many other houses of your chart according to Nadi astrology, and Saturn is influencing so many other areas of your life. So that's all for today, friends. Do subscribe to my channel and share this video. Thank you so much.